Shout out Big Steve.
What up, what up? Welcome back. 3 more weeks, including this one. How you going, sir?
Very well. Thank you for having me again. It's always nice coming off a week where we both profit.
Hell yeah. Not many, but hell yeah. It's I'm not getting excited, but getting close to profiting. I just have this feeling maybe I can squeeze out profit the next 3 weeks, even though I'll put myself in a hole. But we'll see how we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's get straight into it, shall we?
Yep.
I think people know what we bet. You bet the black chick that the whole world bet on, just not Big Steve. And
Franza.
Yeah,
You got Franza live.
Yeah. I got Franza live, pretty much the same price, 250 plus 150. And then just that beautiful main event.
I got plus 225 on Franza, which was just mad, but only half unit. But
yeah, well, KO was a side too. I mean, Mr. Hindsight, but yeah, How does he win a decision? I mean, probably he definitely could have won that decision because that was a corpse.
One round of cardio, yeah.
Corpse. All right, let's get straight into it. Right, Christien, Savoie, Jacobe Smith, and we kind of break the old trend of closely lined, good fights, and favorites. You know, now we're starting off with a squash match, in my opinion, and in the opinion of the bookies. I don't know what you think about this line. Obviously, Jacobe Smith, beast wrestler, lots of power, and I just left thinking that this Savoie guy is just a punching bag, a Homer Simpson. And yeah, I mean, not overly impressed. It's got heart, but yeah, just going to wars. Just going to wars with these guys. It can be taken down. I thought I liked the under 1.5. But obviously, Jacobe has that wrestling path where he just kind of lays on people, and it's gone to decision twice when he's done that. And the people that is KO'd, just like bums. So, what do you think?
Yeah, not much to break down. This is a squash match. And Jacobe is being brought in here to get a highlight reel knockout. Obviously, he's come from a wrestling background, but he's won his last 2 by first round knockout. This guy, Christien guy, is just really, really bad. I was slightly tempted by the under 1.5. I know you mentioned the over 1.5, but the under 1.5 at plus money is coming in, so it's less.
No, I said under. I thought about the under.
Oh, you like the under? Okay.
Yeah, but then the wrestling path will kill it probably.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not sure. I don't have a good read on this Canadian guy's chin. He could just run through him. Like Jacobe could just run through him. So yeah, maybe the under. You can't. I mean, maybe you could parlay Jacobe. Like, I just don't see how he loses apart from injury. This Canadian guy's rubbish. He's real bad. Just squash match.
What's this? I just saw that last time Jacobe Smith weighed in was $168. Just seeing if maybe he's moving up to welterweight. No.
No. Yeah, he's always been.
He doesn't really look undersized. Looks like an absolute unit at the face-offs. This looks like a brutal beast of a wrestler.
Middleweight. He fought at middleweight as well.
Trains at Fortis MMA, a bit of a red flag, but it should be right. It should be right. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really have a finish under 1.5 over anyone good, anyone with a pulse. Yeah.
No, it's just those 2 quick ones.
Yeah. Austin Jones, Leon Lewis, also not the best records, but yeah, that's the thing. If he wrestles, yeah. It'd be good to see his jiu-jitsu improve.
Yeah. I actually think this Levon Lewis guy that he fought is actually better than Christien, and he wrestled him for 3 rounds. So he could easily do that here if the guy survives, but the plus money on the under is tempting.
It is. I mean, maybe we just look at round 1 for old mate. I mean, I think it's pretty correlated, right?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Abdellah, Er-Ramy, Torrez, Finney. I know this man, Ramy. I've taped him for PFL. Kind of regret not playing him as a huge underdog versus that Moldovan dude who's a bum. He just got guillotined in his last Brave fight recently by a kickboxer. Yeah, he's a bit of a round one merchant. He's scrappy, he's a kickboxer, scrappy, usually fights at light heavyweight. That fight was light heavyweight too. And, there's a lot of question marks. Finney, don't really need to break down Finney. We've broken down him twice now. He's come back for the third time. He dropped the ball in the last one, kind of gassed after round one. And he was landing some overhands on Cam Roston, but, he tried to get that 1-on-1 KO that he got right after Contender Series over that bum. But, yeah, Roston showed to have a good chin, even though he has tall man defense. It's just a fight that's a bit hard to get a read on, but I actually left thinking I'm quite contemplating Er-Ramy. Like, he's scrappy. Sure, he got mounted by that Moldovan guy who some people mentioned. But yeah, he's just straight back up, he doesn't settle on the ground. He's a scrambler. I've seen him go get to the back from half guard underhooks. Yeah, he just keeps moving. Obviously, Finney's got that style that's going to stop any kind of scramble. It's going to lay on you, grind on you. You scramble up, he's going to mat return you. But surely he doesn't fight like that again. Surely he comes in, fights like that. Dana White's going to be like, "You're taking the piss. Like, I brought you back for the third time because your style was boring, and then you fight exactly." But who knows, man? Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm dog or pass for me. Honestly, like, you can't bet Ramy at this price. He's just if he's not getting a finish. He almost got knocked out in his first Contender Series fight. All right, came back from the dead, got a rear naked choke. I guess that's live here as well. But what I did mention on the early tease, and I'll mention it again. By the way, tune in, especially Subliminal. If you didn't watch the early tease, stop wasting your time, mate.
I watched it.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I like the over at Pick'em, right? Which is crazy that you could just see that fight going over because Cam Roston's tough. And now the over here is like worse than minus 200. The old regression, as my boy Yanni would say. But I think Ramy is a lot more dangerous, and I think obviously Ramy is a lot more live to get mauled on the ground too. So interesting. The under, the first time Finney was in Contender Series, the under missed by 10 seconds. But then there was a lot of opportunities for that to finish much sooner. So that's where I'm at the moment. But it's a bit of a weird fight. What do you think?
Yeah, you said it. We don't need to break down this Finney guy. Obviously, third time's a charm. Yeah, I kind of echo your sentiment on the under because obviously we've got this Er-Ramy guy who's very aggressive, throws everything with like full power, but is probably somewhat of a white belt on the ground. So, and obviously I think he's only had 2 fights that have gone over 1.5 rounds. Torrez, Finney, the grappling upside could make it go over. But I think this Panfarov guy who he fought the first time on the Contender Series, I think he's obviously a lot better wrestler than Er-Ramy. But that only just went over by like 13 seconds. It was like just over halfway in the second round. So yeah, the under 1.5 is plus money. I think it's a bit of an overreaction from his last fight, obviously going to decision with Ralston. And yeah, there's no way you can play the money line on Finney just because he's just not someone you want to lay juice on. He made a meal of that fight against Ralston and everything. So I've seen people say that like Finney's line is a gift because he's like the shortest favorite he's been, but I just don't see how you can parlay him or play him at this line. So yeah, definitely dog or pass, but I'm kind of leaning towards the under if it stays at plus money when I'm able to get it. But money keeps coming in on it. But
gift is an interesting word for that Torrez Finney money line. There's been gifts, right? But that I wouldn't consider this a gift.
No.
There's not many gifts on Contender Series. I will say that. Right? That chick was a gift that I didn't play. But yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Well, if he covers under 1.5 looks good, and Finney Moles is going to look like a gift. I agree, but I don't know, man. This guy's scrappy.
Did you find his last decision win, Er-Ramy?
I
couldn't find it, but I wondered if it.
The last one. I found that this. I mean, he doesn't have many fights. I found
the
his
John Ofkin one. It's just the last time he went to a decision 2 years ago.
Oh, I think so.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, he's
Just wanted how he looked later in the fight.
I don't know if he has any other decisions because I found a decision fight. I watched it.
He had one in 2019, and that's it.
That could be the one. That's the thing.
Oh, okay.
That could be the one that I watched. Let me just have a look. It's a big black dude. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Frank,
It's this guy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
This guy landed the most brutal spinning elbow right on his chin, and Ramy just got up, dude. He just got up. Okay. It's like he didn't even feel it. That's when I was like, wow, this guy's a chin of gods.
But then he got knocked out of the fight before that by a 2 and 3 guy.
I know, which is, I can't find tape on it. And then he got dropped by that guy on PFL as well. But that guy does crack, so.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's move on. Interesting fight, though. I'm here for the Finney fail. Alrighty. No, I'm joking. Let me address the comments. Big Bird in here. What's up? Xavier's grappling looks terrible. Does Smith have BJJ? No, I don't think he does. That's the issue. He's just kind of like a grinding wrestler. Where in Europe you moving? All right, this guy knows my my personal life. Probably Serbia, I'll say. Under 1.5 plus 130 on bowl. Yeah, that's what we're leaning. The narrative says Finney's supposed to win. I guess so. There's not many guys that lose 3 times in a row, right? 3 times.
Can you imagine if he comes back a 3rd time and loses and doesn't get a contract?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised, man. I mean, I don't think we've ever seen it, but I think that's because they always give the 3rd matchup as really easy. Like, I mean, they gave Jamie Pickett Jehovah's Party, that bloody Samoan guy, and Pickett knocked him out. Like, who was even knocked out in his life? But this is not the easiest matchup. I don't know. I've seen harder matchups. Alrighty, I'll let you take this one away, my friend, because you overplayed David Martinez, Xavier Franklin, Mr. Benjamin Franklin.
Mr. Benjamin Franklin, indeed. Yeah, this is a good one. We've got David Martinez. He's a prospect from Mexico. Been fighting in Combate Global. He's a striker. Skirts on the outside a lot of lateral movement. Doesn't really pressure at all. He'll attack, get in and get out quickly. He's kind of a death by 1,000 cuts guy. Doesn't have a ton of power, but he does have 2 KOs in his last 2 fights in round 4. One was kind of a accumulation of punches, and then he hit a nice spinning wheel kick in his last fight, which was quite impressive. But I mean, both fights were fairly competitive up until that point. Like, he's kind of one of these guys that's, competitive until he gets the knockout. But, he looks to have good cardio, good chin, mixes in takedowns, good takedown defense. Like, he's well-rounded. Then on the other side, you got Xavier Franklin. He is 5-0, but technically 5-1 because he did lose his debut. But the guy popped for steroids, so it was a no contest. Technically, he's 5-1, but he's got decent boxing. He is quick on the feet. I like that he's he's very accurate with his punches. He doesn't wing a lot and like miss. He's very accurate and fast combinations, digs to the body. Another thing I like about him is that he's good head movement, and his striking defense overall is really good as well. And he seems to have some wrestling chops as well, like really nice sprawl, good takedown defense, and he'll mix in takedowns of his own. So they're very similar, but one guy is like plus 140, one guy is medium favorite. So I played Xavier Franklin. I got plus 143 this morning, but he's actually now plus 145 on Bet365. And
reversed.
Yeah, by 2 cents. But I think on Bet Online he's now plus 125. So it's kind of fluctuating, but yeah, I think any kind of plus money over kind of plus 125, I think it's pretty good. Both are well rounded, but I think because they're so similar, I think the dog is a good play here. And he like another thing to note is Franklin is used to fighting. Almost every fight I watched, he's undersized by like 3 or 4 inches. And this is the first fight where he's like sizes up fairly well. Like he's still small, he's still like an inch shorter, but he sizes up much better than his previous opponents, and he's done fine. So, yeah, I've got 1 unit on Franklin.
Makes sense. Can't disagree with anything. I do agree they're very similar, and kind of hard to get a read, like an accurate read, other than it's just going to be a competitive striking fight. You know, I'm trying to see why David is such a big favorite. You know, what is it that if and a bunch of same as last week with that Toledo cheek, bunch of people have played Franklin, but it's not moving as much as that female fight, right? That fight went from thing to pick him to bigger favorite, and then she covered. And this is like same people have played David, not all of them, not David Xavier, but it's actually bounced back. So I'm wondering what David has shown to hold, as a decent sized favorite, because I'm sure a lot of people thinking it's going to be competitive. To me, it just seems like a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more explosive, a bit more scrappy. Xavier just has like a lot of pretty fights. Can't really fault him for anything. Like I don't really see too many weaknesses. Like he's got takedowns as well when he needs them. He seems explosive enough, strong. Seems to have power. He's got a bunch of knockouts. He drops people. It's just the whole split decision path. Because as you said, he did lose that one fight. He looked like 3 weight classes smaller than that guy.
Yeah.
That fight was 130, so he was 5 pounds under the bantamweight limit, and he has fought a flyweight. So that's my only issue. Maybe, but I can't see his age here on Topology. Maybe he's really young and he's just moving up in weight with age.
I've got 27.
Oh, there you go. So he's actually older than David Martinez. I don't know. I think maybe just Martinez because there's a lot more footage on him. There's a lot more KOs. But I also can't find the weakness with David, to be honest. Both of these guys have been dropped. I will say that. You mentioned Xavier has good defense. I've seen him dropped by one of the tall guys, but he just gets up and keeps going. It's probably that fight that he lost, actually, in round 1. He got dropped, flash knockdown. But I don't have anything strong here, man. Very competitive fight. I haven't locked it in just because it feels like David is just a little bit more dynamic, push the pace a little bit more. Yeah, I got nothing. I think dig deep, but I hate watching combate fights. Man, there's just all these NPC Mexicans. They all look the same and fight the same to me. And they all always get extended. And it's like, I got to watch 15 minutes of this.
Yeah. The other 1.5 is juiced as well.
Yeah. It makes sense. Maybe 2.5 then? 2.5. But I just have to...
Minus 120.
What's that?
Minus 120.
2.5 is going to be shit then. Yeah, it could be a good live bet. All right, let's move on. This fight's cool. Alberto Montes versus Calderon. I'll know Calderon because I bet on his under 1.5 in LFA, which was a crazy, crazy number. I just bet it and then rebet it. Obviously, I still tipped it out to the Discord, but it was at a crap line. It was plus money at one point. And, Calderon is just a pull guard submission dude. And, he's been submitted himself. But yeah, he gets dropped a bit. He's on short notice, so I get why he is an underdog. Alberto Morales, a bit more, well put together. He's, a black belt as well, according to the commentators, but a lot more patient striking. He's got some sort of game to it, wide stance. Looks to teep, looks to counter, blah, blah, blah. Still got knocked out by Ira Lukovsky, who kind of hits hard. Just a brute of a wrestler with an overhand right. Put him out cold, actually. But those are the only 3 fights I watched, He's got a mean anaconda choke and a Dars choke. He loves the front choke series. Can he get this guy? I'm not too sure, but there's something about, correct me if I'm wrong, there's something about Alberto that screams you can't really lay him at minus money. I'm not too sure this, I watch it and it's like, maybe because he wants a really technical fight. I don't know, maybe my read is off, but it's only 3 fights that I've watched. And it's not because he got knocked out, whatever, that's got caught. But even in these other fights, I don't know, he's kind of defending stuff is, I don't know, can be taken down as well. So it's a dog of pass. I mean, yeah, as we said last week, there's just no parlays that scream at me in Contender Series, and this guy's not one of them either. What do you think of this fight?
Yeah, I think this should be a fun one. Both guys seem pretty dangerous, obviously, with the submissions. Alberto moves quite nice on the feet, obviously coming from that taekwondo background. He's got some flashy strikes and stuff, spinning attacks, loves a spinning attack, loves a front choke. A lot of his fights are very similar. Yeah, last 3 wins by Anaconda or Das. This, on the other side, obviously, you got Carlos Calderon, who is not nowhere near as good of a striker. I mean, I don't know how good of a striker Alberto is, but he's obviously much more comfortable on the feet. As you said, Carlos gets dropped a little bit. I've seen him dropped in multiple fights. But he is dangerous, on the back. Like, he will go for takedowns. He's aggressive on the feet, go for the takedown, pull guard, as you said. But he's very dangerous off his back. So again, I'm kind of tempted by the under. Like this, I think this could be a card of unders.
And again, it was last week. It felt like we finally got that regression. We waited all season for a bunch of unders to start cashing, a bunch of finishes.
Yeah, exactly. So I think this could be another one. But it was plus 120, got hit, and now it's minus 115, which is less appealing. But I think it could. We could see another early finish here, but yeah, I can't lay the money on Alberto. I know what you mean with the whole, he's not like, doesn't feel like a trustworthy parlay piece. Definitely not, especially with someone as dangerous as Calderon early. But then Calderon is a massive underdog. So do you take a shot on him or him by sub? I don't know. It's tough to get a read on this one, but yeah, the under was the only thing I was looking at. But now it's minus money. I'm kind of less tempted.
Well, you know what I actually like? I actually like the over now. I didn't know it was pick'em.
Yeah.
Well, Calderon, rarely gets finished. He's got a bunch of decisions. This Montes Askar fight, that's wrong, right? He triangle choked Askar, but it has him losing via rear naked choke.
No, he got rear naked choked.
Oh, did
he? Mm-hmm.
I'm tripping out.
He was like attacking loads of submissions, and then
he gave his back up.
It's weird. He gave his back up and just got the choking right away, like in the first round. So.
Well, that's not good. Well, no, I don't like the over.
I didn't find this Leggett fight the decision. I couldn't find that.
I mean, Leggett is a credentialed wrestler and he's athletic.
Yeah.
And he obviously just shut him down.
Yeah, I imagine he just wrestled him.
But this, interesting. My only issue is with how patient Montes is. He doesn't really fight for that under at all. He would just kick you and stay on the outside. And being a black belt himself, if he survives a submission offense, like how's the under hit? That's my only thing. But yeah,
I think it'll be a fun one. Yeah.
Or yeah, you can lie back Calderon because he doesn't really have the best cardio either.
No.
Or maybe Montes doesn't have the best cardio. We'll see. We'll see how he plays out. All right, 6 ounce. Xavier is 5'2". That makes sense. It looks like it. Hilux likes Franklin's boxing a lot. Can he track down Martinez, lateral movement merchant? Correct. And he switches stances a lot too, and he can fight on the back foot. So the public, Steve, the public is on David. That's why. Well, I know the boy Couch Warrior is on David at minus money. So man's got pull, I guess. I agree with all these things. Franklin decision, $5. That makes sense. I like all overs. Calderon seems like the dog people will play because Montes is suspect, but I guess I'm not the only one seeing it. Why does everyone do a Dan Lock Contender Series videos a day after Big Bird already ruined all the lines? Well, I like to see the weigh-ins. There's really not much time to tape Contender Series right after the UFC ends. I actually looking forward to this ending so I can have a break. A day right after the UFC, you just have to get straight into like Contender Series tape. It's wild. Well, you can't complain this week because Big Bird didn't move the line at all, so we have no excuses. Actually, he did on this light heavyweight fight, which we'll get into now. So we're at the main event. Good fight. Good fight. I don't know what to make of it. So I'll let you take it away.
Okay.
Diyar Nurgozhay versus Bartossz Szewczyk.
Is that how you say it? I'm just going to call him Bartossz. I don't know how to say his name.
Like and subscribe. Yeah, I'll say that's it. I'm pretty confident it's Szewczyk from my polished experience.
Okay. So Bartossz versus Diyar. Yeah, this is the...
No, I'm joking.
This is a hard one to get a read on for me, to be honest. Diyar guy, the Kazakh, he is primarily a striker, I think, although he does go for takedowns quite often. He's got really hard leg kicks. Seems pretty flexible for a 205er. He's got some nice high kicks, body kicks and everything. I think his kicking game is actually the best part of his game. He does have some serviceable boxing as well. He's got some offensive wrestling, but it doesn't seem like great. But he goes to it and he does land takedowns. And his own takedown defense looks okay, but I have seen him taken down as well. So one thing I did notice that he looks a bit soft at the weigh-ins. Looked a bit different in his last fight and his previous fights. I don't know if that he's have to come off the juice to get into the UFC, but he did look quite undersized. Not undersized, but he did look much smaller than Bartossz. Then on the other side, he got obviously the pole. I taped Diyar, and I was kind of hoping that Bartossz would be a guy that like pressures, because he might then stifle the kicking game, and but he doesn't really do that. He fights at range, pumps out the jab, ends combos with a good like body kick or high kick. Seems to have a good sprawl himself, but he can be taken down. But he does the right things. So yeah, it's really hard to get a read on this fight. Like, I think if you got the early line on Bartossz, I think that was good, because I think this could play out close. And as I said, struggling to get a read. But I do think this Diyar guy has the more power. I think he'll have probably the more eye-catching shots. I think he'll beat up that front leg of Bartossz. So yeah, this is a hard one. I'm not really interested in playing the dog at like the line it is now. Like, what is it, plus 110? Yeah, it's not really appealing. It's minus 110 on Bet Online now, so there's a lot of money coming in.
It's definitely the way, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe it's accurate now, and I'm kind of not really interested in playing it. What is the under saying? Because as I said, this is the card of unders. Under 1.5 plus 145.
I was going to say, can I interest you in over at almost minus 200?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But yeah, plus 145. It's okay. I mean, 205 is, could be a look. But yeah, I'm interested in your thoughts. What do you think?
Wish I give you something of substance. I will say both these guys' level of competition is trash. This Polish dude, he has a loss to Simon Bajor via rear naked choke. Bajor is like one of the worst chinny dudes as well. I would expect him to knock him out. Sure, it was 3 years ago. Apparently, this guy's really young again. It's not on Tapology. So, whatever,
I don't know how old he is.
Improvement. That was at heavyweight. He's a light heavyweight. I think this other guy, apparently he's a wrestler, Diyar. And I only seen him go for a couple of takedowns. But, yeah, I mean, I can't give you anything strong. Like Diyar, I only watched 2 of Diyar's fights. And it was that decision, which, I mean, that guy's a bum. 19 and 14, and he just...
Well, they're both gassed.
Yeah, not even 5 rounds of just boringness. And then Savoie, man, he's so washed. He's beyond washed.
Yeah, he's washed.
Like, he got knocked out by freaking Montes, and that was like one of my best dog shots in PFL. And the last fight he won is freaking against Marcus Perez in bare knuckle boxing. Bare knuckle. Perez is a middleweight. Yeah, he's just so washed. So washed. So I just have to do some more deep digging, I guess. See how much of a wrestler this guy actually is. I agree about the weigh-ins, man. He looked a lot less built at the weigh-ins.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he can make middleweight or anything. He was also a heavyweight. So, yeah, interesting fight. Interesting fight, man. Actually, no, he wasn't. He was a middleweight. Wow, that makes sense. He was a middleweight. He moved up, and this other dude moved down from heavyweight. Yeah.
Yeah, the Polish guy looks big.
Yeah, but the Polish dude, like I said, man, low-level guys, and he's extending him. He's extending him quite long. And just a year ago, he lost a split to a bum, went to a draw with another bum, another split before that to a bum. Yeah, it just seems like a competitive pick and fight. But yeah, FIFAX Gaming or BSDC, whatever. Called them out on my early teas for that Brave FC beautiful bet that I didn't capitalize on. Polish guy that haven't fought in KSW red flags. I don't know. Fenn. What's that guy that's in KSW now? That was the Fenn champion that looked like to be in all the roids with F, the Maga or whatever. Absolute ape. Some good ones. They all come from Fenn to KSW. So, all right. Hilux was leaning Diyar heavy for the southpaw leg kick, grappling upside. Couldn't find much tape. Had Diyar at 70%. That's a big edge. Diyar legit looked like he had staff. Well, that just cancels it out then, doesn't it?
Oh.
Bartossz prone to getting subbed. Yeah. Sorty is in Dyer's corner for this fight. Well, that's not bullish. That's not bullish at all. Formella, there we go. That's the beast. But you got to start somewhere. Smialovsky was from Friend as well. I guess he's a bum. Absolute bum. Yeah, there's something here. I'm just, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, I got to look into it, man. Got to look into it some more. What are the props saying? Oh, that's right. Hilux, you're saying there's not much tape. You signed up to the GOAT Manpreet's tape archive. Look at this, mate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 fights, mate. 13 fights.
I think a lot of those are like a minute, though.
Hey, it's like tape.
Highlights, yeah.
They're highlights, but it's something.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's it. Well, what does this card say to me? Jacobe Smith, I mean, I guess we both like the under there. Er-Ramy, there's something to find there. Franklin seems to be a popular play, but I have to dig deep. Don't know if I would like Martinez at minus money. Montes, Calderon, there's got to be something there too. And Diyar versus Bartossz. I just feel like there's some tape to be done. I need to do some more deep digging. I got a whole day today. It's 8 a.m. in the morning. A whole day. Usually I finalize my bets afterwards. Sometimes right before the card. Sometimes right before the fight. Like the main event last week. So, yeah. You just got one bet?
I've just got Franklin. And then I'm going to just look at... I haven't got the unders yet. I don't think they're out on Bet365 yet. But in the first two fights, I think they could be decent spots. Yeah, last two fights in the card, I have no idea what's going to happen.
That's all right. It is what it is. We won't force anything. Well, profit is the main thing. So you got one bet that you're confident in, so that's all that matters. You don't really need to add anything else. I have to see whether I like it or not. Franklin's just such a low volume guy, but we'll see. All right, like and subscribe. You know where to find Subliminal. You know where to find me, both on Twitter, both in the Big Brain Discord. And yeah, peace out.
Peace.